Man, my first live via YouTube. My first live via YouTube. Hopefully, I am heard loud and clear. Hopefully, I am heard loud and clear. I have no idea how this is going to go, other than the fact that it's going to be phenomenal, right? It's going to be phenomenal no matter what you think about the video, no matter what you say about this live video. It is absolutely phenomenal. Why? Because this is my first live YouTube video, right? And I want to thank you for looking and listening. I don't know if there's anybody. I guess I could see if somebody was viewing already, um, but I don't know. But I do have some things to talk about. I always have some things to talk about, and I'll be doing more lives via this platform because I like the interaction. I like the interaction with other minds, other deep thinkers, um, via whatever platform. For the most part, in person, but we're not in person via this platform. I wanted to talk about something though that I know I just could have shot a video, uploaded a video, but I wanted to talk about it live. And I don't want to chop up my subject matter because I've been thinking about the subject in a few different ways. And I will be as natural and authentic as I most possibly can be because I was inspired with this message and I wanted to have a conversation about it very briefly, even if I'm just sharing the title and leave you with it to think about it, right? Because this channel, this rich and savvy channel, let me just say, is a channel that is born of a spirit to inspire, motivate, educate, enlighten, and bring people along this journey with me, this journey called life. And you may not know me from Adam. Those of you that don't know me, you've tapped in, you've subscribed to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Please like, please feel free to comment. I affectionately call myself Brother Shaft, right? My name is Shaft, rich and savvy with Shaft. We talk about business. We talk about mindset development. We talk about developing ourselves from the inside out on this channel. And that includes a few different levels and dynamics and dimensions that we'll get into. So this is one of those moments where I get a chance to share live a little bit more about me and how I think. In particular, in terms of how we think. And I just want to say that I am not your certified, licensed professional. You don't have to take what I say as law or something you should make decisions on in your life. Like, this is just me, right? So the disclaimer is, this is just me and my journey in life and just sharing my thoughts, right? And how I'm thinking about any subject that I may bring to the forefront. Been talking for about 4 minutes now, so hopefully you won't charge whatever I say to my heart. You can charge it to my head and not my heart. You've heard that before, right? That may not be correct, if you will, because I may say something that's totally incorrect, right? I'm not above that. But what I want to speak about is something that hit me, as some of these subjects do. I'm inspired to deliver different messages that stimulate us mentally, maybe spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, right? And yes, we will deal with those things that we are to take a look at. We should take a look at even financially in our life via this Rich and Savvy channel. So thank you again for tapping in, tuning in. Preferably it turns you on, right? That's something I like to talk about too, that I learned from Abraham Hicks. If you hadn't heard that name before or read their books. The subject matter here, physiological addictions, right? I was talking about this as I was walking today. I did a walk. I do these walk and talk with Shaft videos that I was shooting today as I was walking in the sun. I wanted you all to see me in the sun. I was going to post a video and encourage you all to get out and get you some exercise and walk. And talk kind and bold and glowing to yourself in the sun, the best form of vitamin D. But my phone got hot and I couldn't do it. So I said I would be sure to come and shoot a video. I decided to go live because I've never been live via YouTube. So I wanted to go live. And here I am. And I believe I entitled the message Physiological Addictions. And I was inspired with this message because there is a level of addictive behavior when it comes to those of us that are determined. And I call it a physiological thing because those of you who don't know, physiology is a branch of biology that deals with the functions of living organisms. That's what physiology is. Physiology has everything to do with that branch of biology that deals with how a living thing moves, right? And functions. Well, there are many of us that move and function on a day-to-day basis in a spirit of pure disbelief in oneself, negativity, anger, fear, all these self-limiting things that I want to call in this message a physiological addiction, in a way to where no matter how many positive messages you hear, no matter how much encouragement you get, no matter how much you know kindness, treating people right or the way you would want to be treated, hopefully that is kind. Hopefully that is treated in a way where you're not causing harm. No matter how much you hear messages like that, or even messages like this, you still will tune into the most negative things. You still will say the most negative things. You still will refuse to wake up in the morning, as Mary J. Blige says, and say, "Good morning, gorgeous," to yourself. That's hard for a person who is physiologically addicted to hating on self, if I can say it that way. Man, I hope some people hear this message. Because you want to look up and understand what physiology is. And here, listen, there's something I wanted to share with you all. I knew I was supposed to share this message as I was thinking on it deeply yesterday, and I pulled up on a place here in Alabama where I live. The name of the physical therapy company is called Physiological Therapy, Physiotherapy, or something like that. If I'm stating it correctly, Physiotherapy is the name of it. And I was thinking on this physiological addiction subject, right? And hopefully I'm doing it some justice. But when I pulled up on that and I met a young lady and I shared with her that I was thinking on this subject, and she said that she would become a subscriber and tune into the channel and listen to my thought process on it. But this particular business was talking about healing the body in terms of therapy in a way that's different from other physical therapists. What is physiotherapy? I want to read what the definition is of physiotherapy. Physiological therapeutics means the therapeutic application of forces that induce a physiological response and use or allow the natural processes of the body to return to a more normal state of health. Physiological therapeutic encompasses the diagnosis and treatment of disorders of the body. And it goes into some of the methods that they use. And I wanted to come from a vantage point of understanding what physiology is, right? And there will be people that hear this message that know me, and they may wonder how and why this particular subject. I don't know. When I'm inspired to speak on something, because I'm called to speak on whatever can stimulate, inspire, motivate us to be better and move differently, okay, in a more exalted state, if you will, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. That is what that's my goal. That's what I want to stimulate, right? So if we understand physiology and the fact that it is that study, that branch of biology that studies how a living organism moves and functions, right? If we can look at how we're functioning in terms of our thinking about a thing, no matter what that thing is, how do we feel about that thing, that happening, that experience? What is our perspective, right? Our perspective is a type of spiritual and mental physiology, if you will, right? Hopefully I'm making some sense here. So if we understand what physiology is and understand that it is the study of how a thing functions and moves, right? If we can study how we're functioning and moving in terms of our thinking, like when something happens to us, something as simple as somebody pulling out in front of us or stopping on their brakes in front of us in a car, right? How do we respond? Do we pull back and give grace, okay, and mercy in our being and say that that person may be going through something, dealing with something, or they didn't see us and we give them grace and mercy? Like when somebody offends us, right? First of all, are we offendable? Being offended and being overly offended or easily offended is a physiological addiction to being angry, upset, mad at the world. Many of us have dirt roads to kindness, being loving, being gentle. We have dirt roads to that type of existence. But we have well-paved highways to being really, really nasty, negative, really, really bad language in terms of how we speak to ourselves. We do it very easily, well-paved highways, right? I just want to encourage us as I sum up this, right? I want to encourage us to go down or pave the highways of how we think and how we speak and how we move. Pave it with smooth asphalt, if you will, and go down the highway and make it smooth in those regards, right? Let's get rid of the addiction, okay? The addiction to stinking thinking. I could have named the video that. Let's get rid of the addiction to stinking thinking, right? So I'm going to end the video now. I didn't have a lot of time with this video. I just wanted to get it out, and preferably some things came out that you can deal with, right? That we can deal with, that we can grab a hold of and think better and move better, right? Because what I'm talking about, simply put, is how we're moving in terms of our conscious and subconscious mind and thinking. How are we moving? If physiology, if it is the study of how living organism moving you and me, that's a question for you. And I'm here to tell you, as I like to say to every and anybody that will listen, you take a look at what's coming out of your mouth. You take a look at your life and your existence, how you're feeling most of the time, because how you feel is a strong determinant. And look into how you're thinking. I just want you to grab that. I want you to grab that. How you're feeling will tell us everything about how we're thinking. And yes, things happen. Yes, difficulties come. This is something else that has been in my spirit to share with those that experience hardship and difficulty. There's a scripture in the Bible that goes something like this. I don't know where it's at, but it says all things. It didn't say some things. It says all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. If I got it wrong, you can comment and correct me, put scripture in the comments, whatever you want to do there. But how I perceive and receive that scripture, Lord, you can exchange it with law. All things work together for the good. It didn't say something. All things work together for our good. If we understand, those who call life works, right? So I'm going to end the message now. Thank you all for clicking on and listening to this message. I don't know how many will listen to it. I'm not going to delete it, right? I'm not going to do away with it. This is my first live YouTube video, and it is an organic, transparent, inspirational message because I was inspired and moved to talk about it in the way that I did. I entitled it that way because that's how it came to me. Many of us are physiologically addicted to pain. Okay? I'm ending the message in how I probably should have titled it. We are physiologically addicted to pain in all its forms. And I am your brother and I am your servant, encouraging you to move and function differently. Understand and know that your pain, your difficulty is serving you in a mighty, mighty way, right? And you don't have to feel bad about it, because the feeling is creating the reality. Oh my God. So I just wanted to stop. Listen, this is what rich and savvy is all about, right? This is what true richness is all about. Being rich in spirit and mind, emotions, psychology, physiology, dare I say, right? Being rich there and savvy enough to move and traverse this thing called life, the game of life, and how to play it. We will be discussing here on this Rich and Savvy channel. So I thank you for tuning in. I thank you in advance for subscribing. All right, liking, sharing, comment, whatever you decide to do. I thank you. Right, I'm going to end the stream now. And I'm your brother. I'm your servant, Brother Shaft. Rich and savvy is how we're moving. Thank you.